Next is Syed Irfan Ali, Executive Director, State Bank of Pakistan, and he's going to be talking about the role of innovation in Pakistan's financial space. Sir, could you please come up on the stage?
Good afternoon. Let me say what an honor it is to be here today and representing the government sector, that is State Bank of Pakistan. But to begin with, I'd like to share a joke with you. And that is, I got it from a friend on WhatsApp. And the joke was that a man asked a friend of his, do you play any dangerous games? And the reply was, yes, sometimes I disagree with my wife. Now, a regulator can really be like your wife, and it could be dangerous disagreeing with the regulator. And as a regulator, my job is to examine the market, look at the way the financial sector is evolving. But most importantly, my job as a regulator is to see that any evolution or revolution that is taking place in the financial industry, is it to the benefit of the people of Pakistan or not? If the technology, no matter how disruptive it is for the benefit of the people of Pakistan, then obviously the regulator will support it and would let it develop, in fact, nurture it. But if the view is that the disruptive technology will not be to the benefit of the people of Pakistan and would create unnecessary risks, that is where the challenge of the regulator comes in, and the regulator could be disruptive. That's the point here. Now, the way we look at the financial innovations that are taking place is definitely very positive. We have a population of 200 million people. A vast majority of us lives abroad. So we are also very interested in the remittances that come into Pakistan. We have 130 million SIMs, 15,000 bank branches, 400,000 branchless banking agents. So a lot could be done as far as the financial or the Fintech space is concerned. So any development that has to take place within the rules and regulations that allow the fintechs to operate and to make sure that these products are beneficial and provide ease of convenience. If you look at the way the branchless banking has evolved in Pakistan, the 400,000 banking agents providing payment services. So there is a lot of space as far as innovations in payments are concerned. Innovations like technology as well as any form of payments that are required by the clubs, for example, schools, colleges, universities, payments at the doorstep, payment for food, anything that involves money, State Bank would definitely be interested in that kind of evolution. Now, most importantly, we need to talk about the development of financial space and the role of the banks itself. Banks, as you know, are institutions with very large capital bases, but with a stable system. So it's important for fintechs to partner with these institutions because, in my view, financial innovation for fintechs will not take place without partnership. So partnership is the key. Following up with what I said earlier, the second part is for the benefit of the people of Pakistan. And three, it should be cost effective. So these three, and what my friend from Eli group of companies just said, it's obviously hard work, and then honesty, and cost effectiveness are one of the few areas that need to be looked at in detail. What I see for the future is that a lot of partnerships would evolve. And I do see a few venture capitalists coming up with new ideas, and they will have to take risks. But any venture capitalist or any fintech developer must understand that the risk of failure exists. So I do not foresee all fintech developers to be successful, but definitely some of them would be successful. And I wish all of them best of luck. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. And so I was just having my coffee, and please excuse me for that. हम इनको एक माइक देख सकते हैं बिकॉज एक बड़ा ज़रूरी सवाल है. So, as a representative of State Bank of Pakistan, recently there have been lots of workshops talking about the ecosystem and the gaps of the ecosystem. We would like you to address, and ये बहुत सारी tweets में भी सवाल आया कि where is the gap and the disconnect between the government and the ecosystem, and how do you think that gap can be bridged?
I mean, the government, as usual, is most of the time reactive. The disruptive technology is not very well understood.
Right.
Like the reaction that you see in Islamabad to Kareem, even in Karachi. Now the government is used to a typical way of doing things based on the current rules, regulations, and the laws.
Right.
And the disruptive technologies are challenging that, basically. So that is where the disconnect is. So it's important for any startup or a fintech developer to start to engage with the regulators and with the government as well.
So would it not be also important that the regulators also need to reach out to the startups, or at least the incubators?
Yes. In fact, a number of regulators in the world have what the incubators themselves, and they are financing it. State Bank of Pakistan is also working on such a concept at this point in time.
Sounds great. Thank you so much.
It's important for any startup, if it has to do with the financial industry, to talk to the regulator, because the regulator has certain laws and regulations in place already.
Is there a clarity of laws? Can the government publish a document so that it's available to everybody, so when they're designing the product, they're very clear on what to do and what not to do?
No, I think that would be very difficult to do unless you know what you're talking about.
Right.
The technology and the products that are coming up, you want, for example, the Kareem taxi that you talk about.
Right.
We don't know whether that taxi pays the tax, the road tax or not.
We understand that, but
So it's any technology that comes up, we don't know what they're talking about.
But
so
that
a lot
means,
of innovation is
that
taking.
it gives, it just identifies that the government needs to be a lot more active. But thank you so much, sir, for being here. I hope that our government becomes more active, and plays a key role in the ecosystem. Thank you for being there.